Hello and welcome to another episode of Low Tech Health. Let ourselves translate expert knowledge. Today is Meatless, Eatless Mental Mushroom Monday, and I've almost made it. I had to eat a mountain of pizza, though. It was this big. Ain't even joshing. Sorry for my week hiatus, fans, because I got two. But I had to travel all the way across the United States. For anyone who doesn't know where that is in the northern hemisphere of the globe of the universe. And it was, man, traveling for 8-10 hours every day for 4 days. It's so nice to finally be here in a travel nurse assignment in the West. I'll tell you that, because I was in the not so West, kind of the South, maybe. And now I'm in the West, maybe South, maybe North. It's a Meatless, Eatless Mental Mushroom Monday mystery. And it brings us to our theme of the week, truth. The truth is, I needed a break. I needed to take a week because I have not been putting myself together well for you guys. And I'm going to start doing maybe a little bit of work for that. I'm in an area where they really like to keep themselves together and show their best self. So I'm going to see if I can do it. See if I can show them what's up. I'm going to do some skits. I'm going to do some parody songs. And it's all going to revolve around, again, letting ourselves translate expert knowledge. It's a long drive, like an hour, in between where I'm living now to my hospital assignment at a major hospital in the West. And it's nice to have that decompression time because there's so much to process doing this job called nursing. And I think that we've really come a long way from understanding what the value of these people who care for their friends, family, for themselves. When we run hospitals like a business, and yeah, I'm coming back around to it again. The truth is, whatever the fuck you, whatever you believe the idea of universal healthcare is, sounds awful. Sure, it does. It sounds terrible. How can we care for the entire universe? Are we insane? A little bit. We're a little insane. Because we are gonna care for emergencies, but your insurance is tied to your employment, which can play a part in your health and your literacy. Employment. Which literacy, time and time again, is not to be overlooked. It's not something that we should pretend is separate from the economy of someone consuming more, because it comes back around to who consumes more products. A dead person, a sick person who's dying, or somebody who's well and who's got a niche and who's starting to hone in on that niche and buy a bunch of that stuff. A lot of carabiners. I don't know. I do know we have a problem with definitions in this country and connotations because we got EMTALA emergencies. We're going to treat people who have to be treated. We've decided, and at this point, I don't care one way or the other. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be there to help you through the time. You're going to need to decide how to pay for it. Which, if you've decided the emergency part we'll care for, the second part we won't, which is like tertiary and then preventive treatment, or secondary and then preventive or tertiary treatment. Are you going to pay for it? It comes back around to literacy. And I'll tell you a quick little story to wrap this Meatless, Eatless, Mental Butter Monday up, because I'm late. Because on the south-ish side of the country, it's a little later than it is in the west. An emergency. I used to think before you came to the hospital, you can't touch any of the plugs. You literally cannot touch any outlet in a hospital, because when you pull the plug, you've killed them. You've killed your mama. You killed your daddy, because you pulled that plug out of that fucking outlet. And they told you they didn't want that plug pulled. They were going to fight. And you pulled the plug. It turns out for a long time, hospitals have had backup generators. All products that are ventilators or they have battery. They don't die right away. So you can unplug things. Don't though. Don't you dare. Don't you kill your mama. Don't unplug nothing. Trust your nurse. Talk to your nurse. But there's this little sign above two light switches. Just light switches for the sink in the ICU rooms from one of the hospitals I used to work at, one of the two before this one. That it said in emergency use only, or emergency use only. It's what it said above light switches for the sink. Not even light switches for above the patient, not even the bright lights. Emergency use only. And you know how many times patients, families who needed a light, this was pre-COVID when you had family, they needed a light on, but they wouldn't ask the nurse. They didn't know to just check, because they don't know how to fix a problem, a health problem. If for some reason one of the light switches shut off of the ventilator, they're just light switches. But we get so embarrassed to know the truth, to turn on that little light bulb, that we won't ask. We'll lie. We'll pretend we know what's going on when we don't. And we won't tell the truth, that we don't know what's going on, that we are lying. I'd like to turn the light on. But you gotta ask me, is this an emergency? But yeah, it is. We gotta get lit, fam. Let's get literate. Love you guys. See you tomorrow on Let's Talk Tickers on Hucko Tuesdays. That's the truth.